the Brits are not nice people.
Well,
and we're just getting into it as we got back into the show.
I was just saying, every time I see like American stand-up, they're always like, I went over to England, and English people are so polite. They do this, right? You people are the politest people in the world, right? I'm getting people every day telling me to have a nice day, and I'm such a moody bastard. I'm looking at them going, I'll see about that. Don't you tell me what I should do with my day, you pompous American, right? But the Brits are the rudest. Like, if you people think they're all polite and tit-bit tally-ho and walking around with bowler hats and like going, excuse me, and that type of stuff, I can't say exactly what they say, but go to a football match and have your son's head kicked in front of you because he didn't know what the offside rule meant, right? Like, they're proper rude people.
Proper rude people.
Yeah. Proper rude. And, like, no one tips or anything like that. Their beer is flat. Do you want to know why their beer is flat?
Why?
Right? Like, it comes through the taps flatter because they're cheap bastards, right? They want the beer to the top. They don't want any head on it whatsoever.
Right.
Because if there's a little bit of head on it, that means they're losing, 3% of the volume.
Yeah, no oxygen.
They don't like ice because that, once again, you don't get as much drink and everything, and because their teeth are so rotten, they're sensitive that they can't even drink back.
Sensitive teeth.
They really
nice
do.
Warm liquid.
They really do. They scoop the ice out of the drink and they're a horrible mongrel breed.
They stink as a nation.
They do, but I live there and I miss it very much.
Yeah.
Well, and you were talking yesterday that there's racism, but it's different. It's not the typical black white racism thing.
They used to hate the black people in the 70s, right? And they had some very racist sitcoms.
They call them, what's the word they use there?
Nignog.
Nignog.
Oh my God.
Nignog.
Is that what it's called in England?
I'm not having that nignog come around my house. You know, that sort of thing, right?
Wow.
Are you serious?
Yeah, nignog.
Wow.
Yeah,
sounds
and
like
that used to
sounds like a drink you have on Kwanzaa.
Sounds like a
that used to be in sitcoms. They would say this word, and then
but that sounds like a sitcom catchphrase. I'm not having that nignog around my house.
All right. Someone Google a show called Love Thy Neighbour that the Brits had on in the 70s, and the show was basically, there's a white family and a black family. They live next door. How are they going to get along?
Actually, that's isn't that where All in the Family came from, I think?
No, that was Man About the House.
Till Death
Do Us Part.
So the thing is...
Man About the House was Three's Company.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All day in this sitcom, he would call him Sambo, Nignog, all these type of... Jungle Bunny was another... Right? Like, and you go through the whole show, and then the black guy would call him Snowflake.
Yeah.
Like, once. And everyone would go, well, now it's even. Now it's okay. The black guy's had his own, everything's fine.
Well, that's the thing is that, but the words that black people can say about white people are they can't hurt.
No.
Because, like, the words that people call black people bring them back to all the terrible things that have ever happened to them. That's why they hurt so much. But you call me a cracker, it brings me as I'm like, oh yeah, well, I owned a lot of land and people. And,
where does the word cracker come from? Where does that come from?
It's something that you call somebody. It means crack of the whip. So it's like it doesn't really make it's not like you're taking a person down like cracker. Yeah, well, yes, a white suit, some lemonade.
Where does honky come
mint
from?
julep.
Mint julep.
What about honky? Is honky what is that one?
I don't know how honky.
It's just a dumb word.
Some people say it's because of the way that white Americans talk.
Kind of nasally. Honk.
Yeah.
Okay. That would make sense.
I don't think there's one white person that has been offended by that word.
Not a one. My daughter cried.
When she was called a honky?
Somebody called her a honky in school. Because they were trying to...
serious?
No, of course not.
I thought that's an awesome story.
That would have been a great story.
She was carrying a book and wearing sunglasses, and there was a bunch of black people calling her honky. And as the National Guard was leading her into a...
yes.
Right.
Segregated school.
Yes.
See, my point is, they used to in the 70s, they used to have a problem with black people, and then in the 80s, it became they had problems with the Indians and the Pakistanis was the big problem that they had, and they united about that. And then it was like after September the 11th, they had problems with Arab people. And now, since the EU has opened up, they hate the Polish people because the Polish people will do a kitchen for you for half the price. And the British are the laziest workers in the world, and everything's overcharged. I had some renovations done in my house. Of course I got Polish people in. I wouldn't make an English person make me anything. They couldn't build anything. They're drinking like 10 cups of tea a day, the lazy pricks. They really are. Like the average English person they work there drinks 4 cups of tea a day. Right? Now I live there. I'm part of their population. I don't drink any, so that means some bastard's having 8. Right? A day, every day.
Yeah.
It stopped us in our tracks here, though. So this sitcom, let's get back to that because that's interesting.
All
the
right.
sitcom was called what?
Love Thy Neighbour.
Love Thy Neighbour.
And it still airs on Australian TV because don't even get me started on Australian racism. That's another.
They're in 70s races.
But it's funny to hear racism from other countries. Like,
that's why this is interesting.
Yeah.
They're like, we call them kangaroo lovers. It's like, why? There's nothing here. Somebody's being bothered by it. But
So,
here.
and this sitcom was a black family
Next door to
a white family and how they're going to get along.
It's called Love Thy. They had another one called Mind Your English, which was like a guy who was an English teacher who taught English to foreigners, and there was every different type of nationality, and there was some great stereotypes in that sitcom.
Oh, that must be it right there.
If you're an Indian bloke, your head had to wobble in that sitcom. There was no other option. You know what I mean? It was that type of thing.
Yeah.